I'm interested in Iguodala once he gets back to Oakland because there's going to be people waiting for him because he's got some explaining to do. Now, if you talk to the Warriors, what they would tell you, because you know I have, and what they would tell you is, there wasn't no damn fractured leg or anything like that. He had a bone bruise, 100%. You listen to him, it's something entirely different. Somebody lying. Yeah. Now, somebody, I don't know who, but I'm telling you, somebody's lying. It's two completely different stories. Now, if you are the Golden State Warriors, for the moment, this looks very bad. And the reason why it looks very bad is because you're fresh off of the KD injury, okay? And because the KD injury took place. Now, whether you believe it or not, you had some people that was talking about, you remember I had to make sure that we addressed the issue. It was a calf injury. There was no Achilles at the time, and there was no threat of it being
Warriors
Achilles.
claim.
That's what the Warriors claim. So let's be clear about that. And in the NBA, because I spoke to them about it as well, and their position is it's a calf, it's not an Achilles. But then you also heard people talking about how when KD went out of the game in the first quarter, they iced him. Which means that if you icing down that area, you're making it stiff, and then to throw him back out there after you iced them, all right, that's a problem. So that's me, you, or anybody else getting into the medical minutia of something which I am simply not qualified to do, and I'm not trying to cast any aspersions on the Warriors. My issue, however, is your player just did.
Yeah.
And by your player just doing so, particularly as free agency is approaching, if Kevin Durant, God forbid, if Kevin Durant were to come out, and I'm not saying I don't know how he feels. I haven't spoken to him. But if Kevin Durant, just imagine for 1 second, if Kevin Durant came out today and was like, I love my man Iggy, he don't have to say a word. All he has to go like this. He don't even have to bring anything up about medical. All he says is, my brother Iggy, appreciate the lookout. If he says something like that, you know that's going to add credence to what Iggy said. And that's where it becomes a bit problematic. I know he's trying to sell his book. You know, people, when they're trying to sell books, you never know. But I know that Andre Iguodala is usually an honest brother. Yep. I've never encountered anybody that questions his integrity, and I don't think the Warriors ever did until today. But today, they feel there's something. They got a problem right now.
It's not like sometimes people go to sell books and they're broke, right? So they need to. He doesn't need to. Well, he's made millions of dollars.
Can I respond to that real quick?
Yeah.
Let me say, you somewhat lean on the people that you bring. When you venture into a different world, even though you've got your millions and you got your money.
This is how we do it.
This is how we do it. Like, for example, if you listen, you got money, but you find yourself in a legal situation. You're going to listen to your damn lawyer. You're going to do what they tell you to do.
Yeah, I'm just saying he's not somebody that's desperate for money. He's a multi-millionaire.
Couple things.
By the way, Iguodala's got 1 year left at $18.5 million next season. So he's still a Golden State Warrior for next season.
And there's nothing they can do about that. They owe him the money.
Right.
And someone else will pay him if they didn't pay him anyway. Let me say this. When teams start throwing out, are you a doctor? Because a lot of leagues and teams do this with members of the media, and they try to pressure that media organization. That's not a doctor, shouldn't be commenting on it. That's nonsense. I'm not scared. I have a brain. I'm capable of thinking. I'm not intimidated because I'm not a doctor to use common sense. I can process information without being a doctor. When I first saw KD grab his leg, I thought, as you did, you talked about it on SportsCenter extensively later that night, as the broadcasters did in that moment, as the blogosphere and Twitter sphere and all the social media did, that's an Achilles. Then they came out and said, everyone thought it was. Then they came out and said, no, it was a calf. We have medical people say it was a calf. Are you a doctor? No, I'm not a doctor, but it looked like an Achilles to me, but okay. Then I came out and said on the air, the calf bone's connected to the Achilles bone, people. This ain't like a shoulder. They're connected. So I wouldn't play if I were KD. And I imagined that he probably had someone in his life, some medical professional saying, hey, yes, you're healed, you're good to go, but now there's a higher likelihood of a catastrophic injury there. I said that on TV the day before it happened, and then it happened. So forgive me if I don't have a lot of patience for here. No. That was a freak coincidence. When I thought, kind of predicted that that's the thing that I would try to avoid. Okay, so that's one. If Iguodala says it was fractured, not a bone bruise, and the team is saying, no, it's a bone bruise, not a fracture, who do I have more trust in? The player, it's his body and his life and his career, who has no real reason to lie, as you said, sell a few books.
He's made $150 million in his career.
Or the team that may feel legally on the hook right now for something that happened with KD because they came out and said it was one thing when it looked like another thing, and they may be sensitive about it. I'm going to say one more thing, because I did a show with Marcellus Wiley on the radio for 6 years. We did Sports Nation together. Marcellus used to tell a story about a team doctor, I won't even mention the team, who told him it was one thing and it was something way more serious. After his career, he and the doctor are friends. Doctor said, ooh, you should have never done that. You should have done this. You shouldn't have listened to me. They're still boys, but it actually affected his career. Team doctors have a conflict of interest. They work for the team.
Go ahead, Marcus.
What both of you are saying, absolutely correct. But y'all know me, that it's a common sense mechanism right here. Iggy ain't incentivized to lie. There's no incentive to lie. Beyond the money, Molly.
Yeah.
Iggy's a champion.
Yeah.
He's done more than 95% of the guys that will ever play in the NBA has done.
And he's been a class act as a player.
He's won championships. He's made a boatload of money. So like Stephen A. says, somebody lying. You know what the public consumption is? I'm going to tell you what me personally, I feel. I feel like Iggy telling the truth.
Yeah.
Right? Especially after we saw what transpired with Kevin Durant this year. And there was a report before Kevin Durant came back that he could not rupture his Achilles. That report was put out there, I think, by Doris Burke before the game started, that was something that could not transpire. And what did we see?
It was absolutely by Doris Burke.
That was by Doris Burke. What did we see? Kevin Durant Achilles pop.
Yeah.
After the report said the Golden State Warriors medical team said it couldn't. So I don't give a damn what they're talking about from Golden State's camp. Right now, you have two situations that don't look good for you.
Thank you so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.